కేసెస్లో ఉంది. కానీ మొన్న ఎడిటోరియల్ చూపిస్తారు నేను అక్కడే ఉంది సార్. కొన్ని కేసెస్లో అవ్వచ్చు అని ఉంది, కొన్ని కేసెస్లో మధ్యలో కూడా అవ్వచ్చు అని చెప్పి రాశాడు మొన్న ఎడిటోరియల్. అంటే అది ఏ పాయింట్ సేమ్ ఈ పాయింట్లోనే నాకు బాగా చెప్పారు. చెప్పిన తర్వాత రావచ్చు, లేదంటే మళ్ళీ ఈ మధ్యలో ఇన్ని సమ్ కేసెస్ ఎక్కడైనా ఇచ్చారు.
అయిపోయింది కూడా వాళ్ళలో కూడా కొందరు ఈవినింగ్ వస్తారు, రేపటి నుంచి మార్నింగ్ రాలేని వాళ్ళు, అంటే ఐ మీన్ కవర్ కాని వాళ్ళు. ఎస్, సో జనరలీ ఇన్ TSPSC రైట్, మనకు స్టేట్ పబ్లిక్ సర్వీస్ కమిషన్ ఏది మనం తీసుకున్నా కూడా పర్టికులర్గా TSPSCకి వచ్చే వరకు మాత్రం మీకు అరౌండ్ హిస్టరీ అంటే జనరల్ ఎస్ఏలో ఒక 50 మార్క్స్, పేపర్ 2లో ఒక 100, పేపర్ 6లో 150, అంటే టోటల్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 900 మార్క్స్ 300 మార్క్స్ పేపర్ ఈజ్ హిస్టరీ. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ ఇయర్, మీరు ఏదైతే హిస్టరీ ఇక్కడ 150, 100 చదువుతున్నారో ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బీ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆన్ సోషల్ ఇష్యూస్. 50 మార్కులు ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో కనీసం ఒక 10 మార్కుల క్వశ్చన్ అన్న హిస్టారికల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ తోటే మీకు వస్తుంది. 2, ఎకానమీలో మనకు తెలంగాణ ఎకానమీ 50 మార్కులు మొత్తం కూడా హైదరాబాద్ నిజాం డ్యూరింగ్ ద పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ ది నిజాం ఎకనామిక్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అండ్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ ది హైదరాబాద్ స్టేట్ డెవలప్మెంట్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీకు ఇందులో వస్తాయి. అంటే దాదాపుగా అనకూడదు ఎగ్జాగరేట్ అని, కానీ అట్లీస్ట్ 350 మాత్రం రిలేటెడ్ విత్ ద హిస్టరీ. ఒక రకంగా చెప్పాలంటే స్టేట్ పబ్లిక్ సర్వీస్ కమిషన్ విదర్ APPSC ఆర్ TSPSC ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ ఎగ్జామ్ ఆఫ్ హిస్టరీ అన్నట్టుగానే ఉన్నాయి. అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 900కి 350 మార్క్స్ అంటే చాలా ఎక్కువ. రెండవది వచ్చి అసలు మనం జనరల్గా మనం మొదలు పెట్టుకుంటున్నది ఈరోజు తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్ అని నేను చెప్పాను. కానీ తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్ అనేది మీకు బాగా రావాలి అంటే తెలంగాణ హిస్టరీ అండ్ కల్చర్, వితౌట్ ప్రాపర్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఆన్ ద తెలంగాణ హిస్టరీ అండ్ కల్చర్ you may not handle properly this Telangana movement. The best example with the Mulki. Generally, the Mulki and non-Mulki. Non-Mulki also known as a Gair Mulki. The problem of the Mulki and non-Mulki responsible for the divide of bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh. But exactly this problem starts with Bahmani Sultans, not now. Bahmani Sultans. So, earliest period during the period of the, particularly during the period of the Bahmani. So during the period of Delhi Sultan Alauddin Khalji, while many of his soldiers they came to Deccan. Deccan means the land between foothills of the foothills of the Vindhya to bank of Godavari, bank of Krishna. So this is the land known as a territory called as a Deccan. And left bank, right bank of the Krishna to rest of the part in generally we consider as a south. So this is, and foothills of the northern side of the Vindhya known as a northern part. So Deccan means the land of Telangana, Marathwada, some part of even Andhra Pradesh. This is called as a Deccan. So Alauddin Khalji after 1305 regularly invaded into south, while some of them the soldiers they came and settled here, those called as a Dakkanis. Later these Dakkanis they founded independent kingdom during the period of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So this founded independent kingdom during the period of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq known as a Bahmani Sultan. And recently some of them they migrated or immigrants, those called as a Apaki. Apaki means new immigrant. Generally later he was known as a non-Mulki. Whereas the Deccanis, they were known as a Mulkis. Deccanis known as a Mulkis. During the period of the Muhammad Shah III period, Muhammad Gawan, newly immigrant, he played prominent role in administration. Almost he reached the place of that Wazir. While the locals, they protested. Finally locals, they killed this Wazir, and because of his death, entire the Bahmani Sultans disintegrated into 5. That's called as a one Nizam Shahi, Barid Shahi, Qutub Shahi and Himmad Shahi like Adil Shahi. So that's a conflict between locals and non-locals, starts with Deccanis and Apakis. Similarly, it has been continuing even during the period of the Qutub Shahis. What they did, they had given importance to the locals. That was the reason they provided employment opportunities to Hindus like whom? Surya Prakash Rao, known as Akkanna Madanna, also known as a like one more Kancharla Gopanna, Rustum Rao, because they were came into the power because of the local and non-local problem only. That is the reason these Qutub Shahis recognize the importance of the locals, and not only post, even they try to be protect the culture of the locals also. But after decline of the Qutub Shahis, means Qutub Shahis was replaced by Mughal Emperor, and once Mughal Emperor was declined, Mughal Emperor 1687 to 1724 directly who was ruled? Aurangzeb, Jahandar Shah, Aurangzeb, Bahadur Shah, Jahandar Shah, Farooq Siyar and Muhammad Shah Rangila. During the period of the Muhammad Shah Rangila, Nizam, his original name known as a Kumruddin, he declared independent, but that was autonomous independent with the permission of the whom? With the permission of Mughal Emperor only declared independent from 1724 to 1948. During this period, Nizamul Mulk, Salabat Jang, Nazar Jang, Muzaffar Jang, Salabat Jang, Nizam Ali Khan, Nasiruddaulah, Sikindar Jah, Nasiruddaulah, Afzaluddaulah, Mir Mahbub Ali Khan, finally Mir Usman Ali Khan. Around they ruled 10 rulers, but generally the first 4, only the first one known as a Nizam, rest of the 3 they never assumed the title of this Nizam. Then 5th onwards they assumed the title of the Nizam. So these the period called as a popularly Nizam, but originally they were Asaf Jais. They were Asaf Jais. So Asaf Jais Villanna. What were the developments during this period? We are going to be learned at the culture part, not here. In the culture part, there are 5 topics. The first one, entire it's related to the ancient Telangana. Second one, medieval Telangana. Third one, it is known as a modern, but because this is a period of the Nizam. What was there at the ancient period? In the ancient period, right almost the prehistoric period to the generally up to we discuss that Rashtrakutas somehow, but actually Rashtrakutas they were earliest medieval period. We consider them even in the history of India also, and in the medieval Rashtrakutas too, Kakatiyas and all the Chalukyas, Vemulavada Chalukya, Kalyani Chalukya, and one more Mudigonda Chalukyas, Kanduru Chalukyas, all are, and major one that was Kakatiyas. Kakatiyas, they ruled over entire that erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, even some parts of the, which one? Odisha, some parts of the Tamil Nadu also. So after decline of Kakatiyas, here the rulers Rachakonda Velamas and Musunuri Nayakas both. Then after that Qutub Shahis. And after the Qutub Shahis, just now I said 1687 to 1724, that is the period. Next, the period known as a Nizam. Without proper foundation of this Nizam, we may not be properly studied. Which one? That is Telangana Movement. Because highly interrelated. Example, without advent of Europeans, how we cannot properly understand that modern India. So, and the relations of this French, English, Dutch and others, similarly same the problem. So, that was the problem. That is the reason I advise to you, without this, don't jump into the abruptly the area of the Telangana movement. Because here the 30 marks, this 30 marks played important role even in the prelims, this area. So like they are going to be asked at least the 4 or 5 questions here. And same it's carried there. How it's carried I will show to you now. That's my main intention. So even our class also start. It is a class with Osunda. Chudu first. Right. Next. So this is the now. Generally tomorrow onwards our class starts with Shatavahanas. Without the Shatavahanas and till that Nizam, we cannot properly understand this formation, state formation. Our class, actually tomorrow we will have the class, and then Wednesday onwards I will continue, because Monday, Sunday and Tuesday, these 3 days I may out of station. That is the only one reason. Otherwise we'll continue. This entire the syllabus maximum we are going to be covered with the 70 to 75 days. Every day maximum our class, that evenings only we planned it like 7 o'clock onwards only. So we'll be see. The Nizam I will be introduced with the first. I said the ruler's name, one is Nizam, second one Nazar Jang, third one Muzaffar Jang, fourth one Salabat Jang, next fifth one Nizam Ali Khan, like the sixth one was Sikindar Jah, seventh one Nasiruddaulah, 8th Afzaluddaulah, 9th Mahbub Ali Khan, and 10th was Mir Usman Ali Khan. Actually, during the period of the Nizam Ali Khan, Hyderabad state entered into the subsidiary alliance system. Because of this subsidiary treaty, while Nizam had to provide a territory to build army in that process, but before the issue was completed, just he made a treaty and he was died. While he was succeeded by his son Sikindar Jah, Sikindar Jah granted land to this English, that after the name of the Sikindar only, they built a new city called Sikindarabad. This Sikindarabad generally known as a area of the cantonment and military. Just you look into that one area, entire this Sikindarabad from Golconda to Sikindarabad, the territory, it was popularly known as a cantonment area. And during Afzaluddaulah period, Nasiruddaulah, 1857 revolt was started, but in the course of the revolt he was died. But even though the Nasiruddaulah, he was maintained silence, not provocated to the people to launch a movement against the British. That is the one. And the next one, Afzaluddaulah. These Afzaluddaulah also continued the status quo to support whom? The British, not the revolutionaries who were there. The example, Jhansi leader, Satara, Mughal emperor, Awadh rulers, they participated in the 1857 revolt, but Nizam, he was calm and quiet. Reason was only while he had a wise diwan, his name known as a Turab Ali Khan, but popularly known as a Salar Jang. The advice of the Salar Jang, that was because there was no clarity among the revolutionaries who was the leader after the success of this revolution. Just only sake of their personal interest or personal interest to protect, they jump into the which one? This battle, 1857. That was the reason they not supported. But after suppression of this revolt, British granted a title to the Afzal Dawla. Generally in private books they write he was a Star of India. Original the title Star of East, not only India. If they are Star of India, just you pick it up, or otherwise you write like the Star of East, whatever that. So here that so much benefit to the Nizam. The write off, waive off the 50 lakhs rupees loan, and then they gave a title like he was one of the trust friend of the British in East, everything. But his premature death created a problem in Hyderabad state. While his son, like a 4 or 5 years old boy, Mir Mahbub Ali Khan, came into the power. This Mir Mahbub Ali Khan once came into the power, but just namesake he was the ruler because age was hardly the 4 years. While they appointed British Indian government appointed a regency to caretake of the administration. In the regency, Salar Jung, Narendranath, they were the prominent members in that regency. After attained 18 years, while he was coronated in Chaumalla Palace, in the presence of Lord Ripon. Generally Lord Ripon known as a father of local bodies. This one. And Mir Mahbub Ali Khan period, there was a many issues was rake up. One, Mulki issue. Second one, Chanda railway scheme. Third one, official language from Persia to Urdu. Like this, so many social activities, everything during the period of this. And Mir Usman Ali Khan, during his period, around the Hyderabad state, it was economically somehow forward, like next to Germany, most industrial state at the time face of the earth, almost Mir Usman Ali Khan period. But this is the political history of the Nizams and socio-economic and cultural conditions. And there was a many movements here also. One is library movement, Andhra Mahasabha, Hyderabad State Congress, Join India program, Vande Mataram movement in Usmania University, and then finally like Arya Samaj roll-off and Dalit movements, anti-feudal movements, tribal movements, etc. All these movements we have to be studied. Without this background, we cannot properly directly enter into that one. So one reason. And one more thing here I suggested to you, large scale movement that was very just now, hope the best, recently you watched the movie RRR Komaram Bhim, that is tribal movement. So after this there was a one major movement known as a Telangana Peasant Armed Struggle. Telangana Peasant Armed Struggle. This Telangana Peasant Armed Struggle, what did they do? Telangana Peasant Armed Struggle. Telangana Peasant Armed Struggle, because of that, there was a merry negotiation between Hyderabad princely state and government of India. Finally, standstill agreement were there, many things. But finally the government of India decided they want to be merge this Hyderabad princely state into India. That is the reason they launched a program called as Operation Polo. The Operation Polo, September 13 to September 17, 1948. Finally in the year of 1948, what happened? 1948, Hyderabad princely state merged into where? In Indian Union. From 1948 to 49, there was a one government known as a military government under the leader of Jayant Nath Chowdhury. He was a grandson of first president of Indian National Congress, Umesh Chandra Banerjee. Jayant Nath Chowdhury, senior military officer in Indian Army. He played important role even in the 1965 Indo-Pak War, while he was a commander-in-chief of which one? Commander of this Indian Army, Jayant Nath Chowdhury. So During this period, they suppress all the activities like Razakars as well as the communists. This is the period. And one more blame on the Jayanthanath Chaudhary also, that critics on his government. During his period, more around 25 to 40,000 people were killed in Telangana, because of whom? The Jayanthanath Chaudhary only. While that local people, they complained to the central government, while central government appointed a committee known as a Pandit committee. So this Pandit committee, Lal committee, so Pandit Lal committee, they said that was more like 25 to 40,000, many things were not opened. So they ended the military government, then they appointed one more government, that is known as a civil administration. Civil government, it was M.K. Velodi. M.K. Velodi. See, during the period of the first almost 1.5 year after this operation follow, Jayanthanath Chaudhary invited many British India officials to join in the Nizam state. Most of them from that Bengal, Odisha and Bombay. So already whoever there, the Nizam employees were suspended, and newly people, they came and joined in the year the government post. Means locals were neglected. Again, non-locals had their priority, one thing. And during the period of the Velodi also same case happened. Already newly immigrant people were there, who? Bengali, Odisha and Mumbai. And Velodi invited from, Velodi basically was a Keralite, means Madras presidency. He welcomed to the people from where? Kerala, Malayali and Tamilians. So what happened? Local people's lost opportunity, and these people, they enjoyed the their social status. That is a basic problem happened during the period of this. Finally, whatever that, and 1952, there was a general elections in India, across India. And before that, 1950, India, already very well you know that one, emerged as one of the republic state. This republic state created 3 type of the states, A, B, C category. In the B category, Hyderabad in the B category, Hyderabad in B category, and then finally Hyderabad in the B category. So Nizam, now he came as a Raj Pramukh, equivalent status of the which one? Governor. And while government of India, they paid 3 crores rupees to the Nizam and purchased lands of his personal lands of Nizam. And one more, annual pension or whatever the salary to him, 1 crore rupee for maintenance of him, Nizam, everything provided. But at this juncture, what happened in Andhra? Andhra people, they want separate state from the whom? Madrasis, means Tamilians. They started movement like in the 1930s only. Andhra Mahasabha, same how we planned. Then they separated finally, whatever the cases, Swami Sitaram, popularly known as Gollapudi Sitarama Shastri, popularly known as Swami Sitaram. He started hunger strike, but with the support of this Vinoba Bhave, he called off that strike. And later Potti Sri Ramulu started hunger strike for the Andhra state. Finally, after 54th day, he was died. And then there was a violent activities in Andhra. Finally, Jawaharlal Nehru, while Prime Minister of India, he said, without disputed areas, we are ready to be created Andhra. So that disputed area, while that was only the one, that is Madras. So without Madras, they created a state. But there onwards, the main focus of them to join, merged with the Telangana or whatever the Telugu people. But in Hyderabad state, who are there? 3 people. 8 districts of Telugu speakings, 5 Marathi districts and 3 Kannada. Kannada language people are the 3 districts, and 5 was the Maratha and 8 Telangana. 8 plus 5 plus 3 total the 16 districts. Total 16. Here also the Maratha and Kannada, they eagerly waiting to join in their native places. Like Marathas, they want to be merged with the Maharashtra while the Bombay, and Kannadas also they want to be joined in that Mysore, their own state, whatever there. So the movement here start, that is very popularly known as the Vishalandhra movement. So finally whatever that. But meanwhile the government of India, they appointed committee. One is Dhar committee, SK Dhar, and JVP committee. After that they appointed a committee to look into the issues, state issues. That is first SRC, very popularly known as a Fazal Ali committee. Fazal Ali committee recommendations regarding Vishal Andhra. They said if the Telangana and Andhra separated, the problems and the merits and demerits whatever there. With the merged merits and demerits, whatever that finally agreement, 1956 in the month of February at Hyderabad House, there was agreement between Hyderabad state Congress leaders and Hyderabad state CM and deputy CM and minister, and Andhra same reciprocally. So these 8 people in the presence of the meeting was presided by, while Indian Home Minister was Gobind Vallabh Pant. Finally they made an agreement. This Andhra Pradesh was formed in the year of 1956. Once Andhra Pradesh was formed, Raju Pramukh Nizam lost his position because the governor usually appointed in India, other state men appointed as a governor in this state, and this state man going to be appointed as a governor in other. Local people never, there was no opportunity to the locals in generally, that was. So now we lost. Then Nizam, he contest in the election of Kurnool, general elections, became a Lok Sabha member. Second time he became a Lok Sabha member of Anantapur. So finally he was a Lok Sabha, by the time of his death he was a Lok Sabha member of Anantapur. So but what happened here 1956 to 1900 right. See, this almost we are enter into the Telangana movement here. But thing was, Telangana movement, just you look into your syllabus, there are 3 units. The first unit what was? Telangana Bhavana అన్నాం. దీన్ని ఏమన్నామంటే ఐడియా. ఈ ఐడియా ఎట్లొచ్చింది అంటే దీని వెనుక ఉన్న బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఇదంతా నేను చెప్పింది. అందుకే మీరు స్టార్టింగ్లోనే వాడు ఏం చెప్పాడంటే హిస్టారికల్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ చెప్పాడా, కల్చరల్ ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్ ఉందా అన్నది చెప్పాడా, మన ఫెస్టివల్ సపరేటు, మన కల్చర్ సపరేటు, మన టెంపుల్స్ కానీ ఇవన్నీ కూడా మన సపరేట్ అని చెప్పడంలో వాడి ఉద్దేశం అదే. అందువల్ల ఈ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఉండడం తోటే మనకు తెలంగాణ వచ్చింది. అంటే బికాస్ జనరలీ ద తెలంగాణైట్ సిన్స్ ద ఏజెస్ దట్ వాంట్ టు బీ సమ్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ అండ్ లిబర్టీ. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లైక్ ఎ గ్రేట్ పోయట్స్ లైక్ పాల్కూరి సోమనాథ, కంచర్ల గోపన్న and Potana, they are always demanding which one? Self-respect. That is the slogan of the entire Telangana movement, that was self-respect. Many times Andhra leaders and other the question, development is there, what is the need of the state? While said this because of the self-respect. ఇది భావన తెలియాలి మనకు ఐడియా అంటే అక్కడి నుంచే ఇక్కడికి వచ్చాం. వాడు ఆ సిలబస్లో అది పెట్టడానికి రీజన్ అది. సడన్గా మనకు అనిపిస్తుంది ఏమంటే తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్ అన్నాడు, ఇవన్నీ ఎందుకు పెట్టాడని ఉంటుంది. మీరు చదవండి వరుసగా, నేను చెప్తాను. ఎస్ 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 ఇప్పుడు అవన్నీ అక్కడనే వస్తాయి కదా. అవి కనుక క్లారిటీ లేకపోతే ఇక్కడ గంటలు మనం చెప్పుకోవాల్సి వస్తుంది. అందుకోసమే అది చాలా లిమిటెడ్ సిలబస్ అయిపోతుంది మనకు. అది వస్తే తప్ప ఇది రాదు. అదంతా మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ చెప్పాలి. ఈ ఐడియాలజీ రావడానికి రీజనే అది. దాని తర్వాత 1956 నుంచి 1970 వరకు దీన్ని మనం ఏమంటామంటే 1948 టు 1970 అని రాశాడు ఐడియా. కానీ ఈ ఐడియా మొత్తం 1948 టు 70 వచ్చినా 1956 టు 1970 అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఫేజ్ ఆఫ్ తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్ 1969 వరకు ఎట్లా జరిగింది, ఎవరున్నారు అప్పుడు? నీలం సంజీవరెడ్డి గారు కానీ, దామోదరం సంజీవయ్య గారు కానీ, కాసు బ్రహ్మాందరెడ్డి గారు కానీ, వీళ్ళ పీరియడ్లో ఎక్స్ప్లాయిటేషన్ ఎట్లా జరిగింది. హౌ ద టీచర్స్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ మోర్ దెన్ 4,000 ఓన్లీ ఇన్ ఖమ్మం డిస్ట్రిక్ట్, దే కేమ్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ ఆంధ్ర, దే జాయిన్డ్ యాజ్ అ టీచర్స్ హియర్ బికాస్ వైల్ there was a no Telugu teacher particularly to teach the mathematics and science. That is the reason all the way they came and joined here. ఒకటి. సో మరి ఎందుకు ఇక్కడ తెలుగు చెప్పాల్సి వచ్చిందంటే బూరుగుల రామకృష్ణారావు వాజ్ ద ఫస్ట్ చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్ ఇన్ ఇండియా. ఈ డిసైడెడ్ టు టీచ్ ఎట్లీస్ట్ ద ప్రైమరీ లెవెల్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ మదర్ టంగ్, వెర్నాక్యులర్ లాంగ్వేజ్. ఆ వెర్నాక్యులర్ లాంగ్వేజ్ చేయడం వల్ల చాలామంది స్కూల్కి వెళ్ళారు. అదర్వైజ్ ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియంలో ఉంటే రూరల్ ఏరియాలో వెళ్ళలేకపోయేవాళ్ళు. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్, ఇంకోటి ఆయన గొప్ప పని చేసింది ఏంటంటే 500 మెంబర్స్ కనుక ఉంటే ఒక విలేజ్లో, ద పాపులేషన్ సైజ్ ఆఫ్ జస్ట్ 500, దెన్ ఓన్లీ ఈ సెటప్ ద స్కూల్స్. విదర్ ద స్కూల్ బిల్డింగ్ దేర్ ఆర్ నాట్, ద పీపుల్ చిల్డ్రన్ సిట్ ఇన్ అండర్ ఏ ట్రీ, దట్ ఈస్ ఇమ్మెటీరియల్, బట్ ఈ స్టార్టెడ్ ద స్కూల్. సో ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇద్దామని ఒక ఆలోచన ఉంది. దానివల్ల అక్కడ నుంచి మనం టీచర్ అంటే ప్రోస్ కాన్స్ రెండు మనం చెప్పుకుంటూ పోవాలి. ఈ పీరియడ్లో జరిగిన ఎక్స్‌ప్లాయిటేషన్స్ అంతా చూస్తాం. మరి అదే టైంలో 1969 మూమెంట్ వచ్చింది, తెలంగాణ ప్రజాసమితి వచ్చాం, ఎన్నో చేసాం మనం. ఎన్నో చేసిన తర్వాత ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది ఏంటంటే 1969లో మూమెంట్ జరిగిన తర్వాత ఇందిరాగాంధీ డిసైడెడ్ వాట్ మే కమ్ అవుట్, ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు బి బైఫర్కేటెడ్ ది స్టేట్, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఫర్ ద డెవలప్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ది తెలంగాణ, ద సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్, ఐ మీన్స్ హియర్ దట్ యూనియన్ గవర్నమెంట్ కెన్ టేక్ కేర్. But at this juncture, what happened here, seriously, meanwhile she appointed some committee like a Vanchu committee, Vasishtha Bhargava committee. All this committee, they said, on Telangana badly was exploited by the whom? Andhra people. So then the Mulki rules, later P.V. Narasimha Rao became the chief minister of Andhra Pradesh, and P.V. Narasimha Rao period the Mulki judgment has come. While the Supreme Court gave judgment, Mulki rules were the final. Because of this Mulki rule was the final, then what happened here? Because the Mulki rules was the final, then Andhra people launched a movement, separate Jai Andhra movement. Because he is a state citizen, means the Andhra Pradesh man. If he was not eligible for the government post in his capital city, where will be eligible? He was not eligible in India, Andhra Pradesh, where will be eligible? He was eligible in Karnataka or eligible for in Tamil Nadu, కాదు కదా అట్లా. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు జయాంధ్ర మూమెంట్ అనేది చేశారు, కొన్ని లాజిక్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఇందులో. ఇది అరౌండ్ సెకండ్ ఫేజ్. ఈ సెకండ్ ఫేజ్ని ఏమన్నా మొబిలైజేషన్ పీరియడ్. మొబిలైజేషన్ పీరియడ్ 1970 నుంచి 1990, 19 మళ్ళీ ఒక 20 ఏళ్ళు జరిగింది. తర్వాత ఫైనల్గా ఏముంది, ఫైనల్ ఫేజు టువర్డ్స్ ఫార్మేషన్ ఆఫ్ తెలంగాణ 1990 to 2014. ఇది మన్ని సంవత్సరాలు 24, అదొక 20, ఇదొక 22 ఏళ్ళు దాదాపుగా జరిగింది మొత్తం. అందుకే మనం ఏమంటాం 60 సంవత్సరాల పోరాటం అన్నాం. మరి ఇందులో రోల్ ఆఫ్ పొలిటికల్ పార్టీస్, రోల్ ఆఫ్ సివిల్ సొసైటీస్, రోల్ ఆఫ్ అదర్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్, సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్, అండ్ రోల్ ఆఫ్ తెలుగుదేశం పార్టీ పర్టికులర్లీ, అండ్ రోల్ ఆఫ్ ఎన్టీ రామారావు, how that cinema people, real estate, how they badly exploited Telangana resources, everything మనం వీడియో చూస్తాం. కానీ ఫైనల్గా ద తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్ టైంలో మాత్రం రెండు స్లోగన్స్, ఒకటేమో సెల్ఫ్ రెస్పెక్ట్, మరొకటేమో ఏమనం దాన్ని నీళ్ళు నిధులు నియామకాలు. నీళ్ళు అంటే ఏంది, వాటర్, ఫండ్స్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఆపర్చునిటీస్. దిస్ ద బేసిక్ వన్. దీని మీద మనం చేసాం మూమెంట్ అంతా కూడా. సో దీనికి సంబంధించి మీకు 150. కానీ మీకు ఆ 50 మార్క్స్ పేపర్ కనుక గ్రిఫ్ లేకపోతే మీరు ఎన్ని రోజులు ఈ 150 మార్క్స్ కోసం చదివినా కూడా నిజంగా రాదు, అంత కాన్ఫిడెంట్గా సబ్జెక్ట్ అయితే రాదు. ఇది మాత్రం గ్యారెంటీ. ఎందుకంటే మనకు ఒక లింక్ అనేది రావాలి. సడన్గా ఇప్పుడు సివిల్ సర్వీస్లో చేసిన పొరపాటు కూడా అదేంటంటే మోడర్న్ ఇండియానే ఇంపార్టెంట్, మిగతాది కాదనుకొని ఏన్షియంట్ మెడివల్ వదిలిపెట్టి మోడర్న్ చదువుతూ ఉంటాము. ఆ మోడర్న్లో వాడు 8 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇస్తే మనం 4 పెడతాం. ఆ ఏన్షియంట్ మెడివల్లో మీరు స్ట్రాంగ్ లేకపోతే ఎప్పుడు కూడా మోడర్న్ అవ్వదు. ఇక్కడ కూడా అదే ప్రాబ్లం. మీరు కనుక తెలంగాణ హిస్టరీ అండ్ కల్చర్లో స్ట్రాంగ్ లేకపోతే ఈ పార్ట్ మనకు అర్థం అవ్వదు, ఎఫెక్టివ్గా రాయడానికి రాదు. మనం రాయడం వేరు, ఎఫెక్టివ్గా రాయడం వేరు. ఎవ్రీడే టోటల్గా ఎన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయన్నది కానీ చూస్తే ఆ కల్చర్ పార్ట్ ఇది కలిపి ఒక 180 to 200 క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి. ఈ 180 to 200 క్వశ్చన్స్ మీరు బాగా చదివితే రిపీటెడ్గా నేను చెప్పింది రాసినా, లేదా మీరు కూడా ఓన్గా కొన్ని క్రియేట్ చేసి రాసినా, ఒక్క క్వశ్చన్ కూడా మీకు ఎగ్జామ్లోకి వెళ్ళి వెళ్ళాడు. అంటే ఎన్ని మార్కులు, 200 మార్క్స్ మీరు బాగా ప్రయత్నంగా చేయగలిగితే ఒక 150 to 160 తెచ్చుకోవచ్చు అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 200. ఇంకా అంతకంటే ఎక్కువ ఎప్పుడు 200 to 200, 150 కూడా చాలా ఎక్కువ చెప్పాను. ఎందుకంటే 60% మార్క్స్ ఈజ్ గుడ్. నేను 200కు 120, 130 మంచి మార్కులే. ఇంకొంచెం బాగా ట్రై చేస్తే కొంత పెరుగుతాం, కానీ 100కి 100 మాత్రం ఎప్పుడు కూడా మనం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయడానికి ఉండదు. మీకు ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్స్ అవి ఉంటే నన్ను అడిగితే నేను చెప్తాను. ఇప్పుడే ఇందులో మీరు 1 book in basically again and again recommended 1 book, that was Telugu Academy. Apart from that one, our class notes, apart from that one, that book. If you are really, this is Telangana state formation, and regarding Telangana's culture There was a one book in Telugu Academy, it was a very bulky. But instead of that, my suggestion that is very simple. Degree final year book is there. Like around only 250, 280 pages. It is very good for our mains purpose. But group 2 purpose, it may not be sufficient. But regarding the group 1 purpose, it is very good. Really, you read and attend my class, this is the enough for you, whatever write. But the crux of the exam only, that is writing practice. How long you are going to be write. So this is the month of which one? Like July 1st. Mostly our syllabus we are going to be finished. Try level best. Take that more few hours. That September 10th we are going to be wind up. Then you have the 40, 30, 35 days. And even possibility August 31st we try to be finished. Then you have the 40, 45 days that prelims. Whatever you are going to be prepared here, that is useful to the even which one? Prelims as well as the mains both. But directly they didn't mention anything about this Telangana movement and these things in the prelims, but certainly there is a chance to be asked at least that 2 or 3 questions. Try we will, that 2 also why should we lose? Because this year the cutoff level really going to be somehow improve. Reason was that last previous notifications, they are irrespective of the reservation, they are taken. Which one? Qualifying. But now with the respect of the reservation only they are taking. That is the one problem. That is the reason general candidate at least the 90 score, and based on that women 85 like, and finally even the reservation also like minimum the 75 to 90. This is the cutoff approximately. This is my expectation and my guess. So don't neglect even the prelims part also. But how to clear this prelims in generally comparatively other UPSC and other state public service commission, the Telangana prelims syllabus unique, because there was a no society based questions in UPSC and other public service commissions. And one more thing, that was literary, everything they are giving very clearly. That is one advantage to the student. Whereas in other public service commissions they are giving vaguely Indian culture and heritage, and Andhra, special focus emphasize on Andhra. But here clearly they are defined what are they going to be asked very clearly. That is the reason somehow that unique. First you focus on that history, geography, and then polity, and economy here, social and economic development. And regarding this one, you better to go with that these books, economic survey and socio economic survey, somehow help to you. And then one more part, that was science and technology, and then current affairs. These areas if you are good, there is a chance to be clear the prelims. Vice versa, if you are good in mains like paper to social issues, you are going to be make somehow better manner the preliminary questions even in the social issues or whatever there. But don't make separated, this is the prelims, that is the mains. You better to prepare in the integrated manner only, then it will be helpful to you. But always I suggested you better to read that Telugu Academy maximum as possible as, but don't read some other books. But because it is that books we don't know who wrote that one and what basis they are writing and all these things. That is the one reason. Generally the exam paper setter, he has taken from where? Only the Telugu Academy source or some other sources, because bibliography there, back page of this Telugu Academy, they may taken from that sources also. That is the reason you better to read Telugu Academy. And one more thing, regular practice, that is the preliminary as well as the mains. This is our program, whatever we are going to be do. So tomorrow at 7 we have a class. Every day 7 to 8:30 minimum we have the class. Then we will be see. That is evening hours only, not the morning hours at present. Katestava 12,000 మనకైతే